Good morning, everyone. We are come back with a new topic in the Salesforce Apex Hour today. Today's topic is the Salesforce DX, and we have a special guest, Jitendra Jha, with us, who is going to be give a demo and going to explain about the Salesforce DX. And today's agenda is introduction to the Salesforce DX and creating a Salesforce scratch a org from the scratch and deploying the data metadata into the Scratchorg and running the test classes with the help of the Salesforce DX. So this is the agenda for the today. Let's move into the slide. So who I am? So my name is Amit Chaudhary. I'm the organizer of the Farmington Hill Salesforce Developer Group. I'm also active on the Salesforce Developer community, and I'm also active on my blog. My blog is amit.salesforce.blogspot.in. So next, let's move into the next slide. So I told you we have a special guest, Jitendra Jha. So he'll going to give the demo and introduction of the Salesforce DX. So let's hand over to Jitendra Jha.
So,
Jiten, hello.
yeah,
Jitendra,
Amit.
I hope you are muted. I unmuted you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Amit, for my introduction and letting me join the Apex Hour. This is a great initiative. One of the way to join virtually. In Salesforce community, of course, we have developer group, we have the user group, but I would say this is one of the innovative way where we meet on weekends and discuss with each other. Give me just 1 minute. Awesome. Okay. So, I am Jitendra Jha. Few of you might already know me because I see the participant list, and most of you are already on my Facebook account or Twitter. And thank you so much for joining. I know it's late in the India, but I'm pretty much sure it would be worth for you. So let's go on. Let's discuss about the Salesforce DX. And like Amit already informed, that agenda for today is. We are going to discuss what is the Salesforce DX, and we will discuss what is a Scratchorg, how we can create a Scratchorg, how do we deploy the metadata, what is a skeleton workspace. For that, how we can use Eclipse. We would be running test classes also from the SFDX. How do we get a help, and how to use a force.com IDE. And even though I have said that question and answer should be at the last, but I would suggest every participant to ask me at the same time when I'm running the command, so that it would be helpful to explain and to visualize basically what is happening. So first and foremost question, what is the Salesforce DX? Why do we need it? So I mean, if you have worked on the enterprise project, any Salesforce project, you might have a lot of problem rather, I would use, maintaining the sandbox, refreshing the sandbox, deploying the code from the sandbox to the sandbox, or from sandbox to the production. If you're working on some app exchange product, then that's an altogether different landscape where you have a different kind of the challenges. We have a lot of solution for that. We have admin tool to use a change set to deploy something from sandbox to sandbox, or sandbox to, I will say, production. But the problem with the change set is, like, you can use change set only in the connected environment. So connected environment means or change set can deploy only changes from one sandbox to another connected sandbox, or one sandbox to the production. So to overcome that problem, we have another tool, which is my favorite tool, and I always refer that tool, which is a Ant migration or Ant metadata toolkit. So advantage of Ant metadata is, like, you can deploy from anywhere to anywhere. You can deploy from your development org to your sandbox to your production. And one of the other advantage I see using Ant migration toolkit is, like, you always have your metadata either saved in some source code management like Git, SVN, or somewhere else. And the problem in the change set is, like, once you deploy, that information is lost unless you do manually noting down that, okay, this change set contains this metadata. So till now, I mean, most of the project I always use Ant migration toolkit. It's a little bit learning curve there. You have to understand a little bit about how Ant works and what are the configuration. But there is a problem in Ant also. So the problems like uh, to deploy the, I mean, to get the profile, you have to get all the components and all few others as well. How do you sync two sandboxes? How do you sync orgs and those stuff? So and another other problem with the Ant is like the learning curve. Like I said, you have to understand how the Ant works, because migration toolkit is nothing but the Ant plugin written in the Java. Salesforce heard us, and Salesforce came up with the brand new tool, which is a Salesforce DX. DX stands for Developer Experience. So Salesforce DX, I will say, is it's not only the next version of the Ant migration toolkit. And again, whatever I am saying, it's all my assumption and all my understanding, and it does not have anything to do with the Salesforce. The reason is Salesforce DX is still in the pilot. So advantage of the Salesforce DX is like the new concept known as the developer hub and Scratchorg that we will discuss later on in this session itself. So again, it is also command line, but the good news is it is also available from the Eclipse directly. So even if you are a little bit hesitant on using the command line, you can always use Eclipse, that we would say in this session. So Salesforce DX is source code management driven. That's SCM. That means your metadata would always stay either in the Git, SVN, or any SCM tool. And mostly, and this is a new way, rather, I will say, the deployment of the Salesforce DX is always package driven. So assume the scenario, okay? You have enterprise org, 40 developers are working in your project. Now, out of those 40 developers, let's say there are 4 team of 10 developers. Now, it is not necessary that always these team will work on the different Apex classes or different module. The chances of overlap is very high. So normally these days what happens is like you create one sandbox for each user or one sandbox for each team. You do your development, you do your deployment, and then there is a backfill process. You merge your code and all those stuff. For that approach, of course, works for most of the client because they have a process in the place. But what Salesforce DX says is you have to develop in a concept of package. So you develop one feature, deploy that whole feature as one package. Do not mix 2 or 3 development in a one package. Create a package.xml, do the backfilling, see if code merge happening or not, something. Of course, code merge problem would here also, but you would be deploying on the basis of packages. You would create a so Scratchorg. So let's talk about the sandbox. We have a different types of the sandbox in Salesforce. We have a developer sandbox, partial, full copy. And to create a sandbox, it may take from 1 hour to, I have seen, 1 week also, depending on which kind of the sandbox you are trying to get it and what is actual data in your Salesforce instance. Now and the other way is like you can create a developer org, but again the problem in creating a developer org is you have to do it manually. You have to manually open developer.salesforce.com, enter your first name, last name, all the other informations. You will get an email, validate, and then so it takes time. It's a manual intervention, right? Now what is a Scratch org is you can create an org just on one click automatically, no manual intervention needed. Automatically org would be created, I will say, just within a 1 minute. So that time is saved. You can have a continuous integration process in place where Scratch org would be created nightly. You do your development there, you do your POC there, and then destroy the org once you are able to see, okay, this is how the things are working. And Salesforce DX comes into the 2 version. One is a command line interface, which stands for CLI, and another is force.com, which we in this demo we will see both of those. So first and foremost question, how do I get a Salesforce DX? Now, unfortunately, not everybody of us can get a Salesforce DX for the hands-on. The reason is it is still in the pilot. So if you are working for the companies or some app exchange partners like Accenture, Deloitte, or maybe you have your app exchange and you're part of pilot, then talk to your company that, hey, please create my username and password. Salesforce would not able to create because these companies are already identified by the Salesforce for the pilot, and only those companies can do some hands-on. So fortunately, my employer was kind enough to give me the access to the Salesforce DX, and I was able to do some hands-on. But let's say if your company is not in the part of pilot, no worries. Very soon the beta is going to be started. I mean, my assumption is like just 1 or 2 week, we will get a beta version and everybody can do the hands-on. So again, like I said, this is a pilot. So whatever command I would be running in this demo, not necessarily that this command would exactly work same when it goes on production. So the chances are high that the command would be different little bit, but still we will see the, uh, the techniques, basically how to remember the commands. Because one of the problem I see from the users, I mean, not especially the developer, but few developers like hesitant to use that black screen. But believe me, that black screen is your best friend. I always love the back screen. The reason is you can always automate it. No manual intervention needed. You can create a bash script and that's it. Finish. But if you have some user interface, you go click, like let's take an example of chain set, right? Whenever you want to deploy, you cannot automate creation of chain set. You have to log into your browser, click all the components, check boxes. There might be some Chrome extensions, but again, there is a 1 or 2 step you have to take manually. Now in Ant, you just use your Windows scheduler, Linux, Mac OS scheduler, and deploy it within a minute. So that is the reason I love the black screen. I love the CLI. You can always automate it. So let's see. Any question till now before moving ahead on the next slide? Okay. I will assume either you got everything or you got nothing. So here is the question. How do I install the CLI? Yeah, anyone, any question?
Yeah, can you explain why Salesforce DX? Because actually I joined on the other link.
Mm-hmm.
I was not able to connect to the meeting, and again I checked in the meetup. There is a different link in the meetup, the one which I got an email.
Oh, sorry for that, Ravi. So basically at the last moment, we came to know that our Ready Talk account was expired. So that is the reason we had to change our meeting URL at the last moment.
Oh, okay. I just missed 10 minutes of the session.
That's fine. I mean, this is all theory. We have not yet went on the hands-on.
Okay.
So
And
Ravi,
one more
what?
good thing is that we recorded this session. So whatever 5 or 10 minute you miss, so that what you can check. So soon after this meetup, I will post this video somewhere. So you can have a look into that.
Okay, sure.
I believe me, Ravi. Okay, this is all boring. I mean, you would be glad once you go back and see the recording. Oh man, this all stuff is boring. No hands-on. So you are in the right moment.
Okay.
If you don't love theory, that's the boring. So installation. Assuming you are the pilot user, you already have access to the developer hub. Then you can use these URLs to download the CLI and the IDE. If you're not pilot yet, no worries, just wait 1 or 2 week and Salesforce is going to release as a beta. And if anyone of you are going to the Trailhead DX event in San Francisco, they would be having, I guess, they would be having an early access of the beta instance, hopefully. Again, you cannot take my words here because I am not from the Salesforce. That's all my guess and my knowledge. So let's jump on the hands-on directly. Okay, for this demo purpose, I would be either using this slide or I would be using my blog for the command reference. So let's do on hands-on. Let's see it in action. The first thing we have to understand is developer hub. So there is a new terminology in the Salesforce DX. So Salesforce DX stands for Salesforce Developer Experience. And the next terminology you guys have to understand is developer hub. Do not get confused with environment hub because I was initially. So developer hub is like your production org itself. So like one production org can have multiple sandboxes. In most of the scenario, your production org itself would be the developer hub where you can have multiple Scratchorg. So you cannot create a Scratchorg if you do not have access to the developer hub. Okay, so that's theory already written on the screen. So let's see it in action. I'm going on my command prompt. I'm simply running command cmd. If you are Mac user, you have to go to your shell, and these commands would exactly work on the Mac and the Windows. I'm a Windows user, so I would be using this. So first of all, like I said, you have to know the username and password of your Salesforce DX account. So I already have my username and password. Okay, and basically what I'm going to do is I am going to create one folder in SFDX here saying Saturday Apex Hour, and I would exit from here. I will open my command prompt here. Awesome. So I hope you guys can see my screen. So first and foremost is you have to log into your developer hub account from your CLI, and command for that is, oops, I would, so basically I'm not sure how, so this is the command you can use: sfdx force auth web login, and now this says set default dev username. So basically it might be possible that you are app exchange developer, or maybe you have access to the multiple dev hub account. Now how do I know, or how the CLI would know that on the behalf of which dev hub account the command is being run? So instead of saying that, okay, this is my developer hub again and again, you can just use this flag saying that, okay, next command onwards, I will not give the information about what is the developer hub. You have to assume this as a default, and the same you can set the aliasing also. So for this I would be using my website, because on my website I can simply copy paste the same command here, and you can use this website also to see this is exactly same command I have on the PowerPoint presentation. I would copy this command, I would go back on my command prompt, and here again I'm saying sfdx. So assuming that you install sfdx on your system, you're saying force auth login, and right now I'm logging to my production developer hub account, so that my CLI will know that whatever the command I'm running is on behalf of which developer hub. So once I run this command, it will take some time and it will open a browser window. So like said in the PPT, once I run this command, browser window would open. It would ask me for the OAuth. Okay. Okay. So I have to use my username and password. So I will open my Notepad++ basically, because that's here. So this is my username for my account. I would go here. I would enter my username and password here. And let's see what is happening at the command prompt here. So this command is still expecting that I would go. So this URL automatically opened. I didn't do anything. Once I run this command, browser will automatically open. It will ask us to enter the username and password for the developer hub. I would log in here and let's see what is happening. Awesome. So here we see that DX pilot Jitendra Jha at cognizant.com. This is my org ID, and it's saying we are all set. Now this CLI already knows that which is my developer hub account, and I can do my all the stuff here. So as you guys can see, it's just 73 days remaining. This is the beta pilot org provided by the Salesforce to us. So, and I don't need this now. I would just simply close it. Like I said, let's go back on. So this is the folder, Saturday Apex Hour. So first thing actually what I can do is I would go back on my website, and this is basically a Git repository. So this is the sample Git repository provided by the Salesforce. And like we discussed, that anything we want to, if in order to use the Salesforce DX, you should have a source code management. Either you use GitHub, Bitbucket, you have some SVN, that's completely fine. So I would use this Git repository. So basically what I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to get the source code here, and source code I can get simply by running this command. And so you see the background, I'm saying get clone and the URL of the repository, and at the background you guys can see that this new folder has been created and the data in this new folder came from the GitHub. So I see some config folder is there, some force app folder is here, some main and test. So everything is coming from the Git repository. I don't have to worry about, and I would be using this repository for the deployment purpose. And I would go back again on the same repository saying sfdx simple. So here I am, all the command I would be running from here. Let's go back on our PowerPoint presentation and see. So here it says that first we have to clone, we already did it. And whatever the command we would be running, we have to run in sfdx simple, that's fine. I already authenticated my developer hub. Let's see what is the next. So the next is to create a Scratchorg, we need to have a following JSON. And let's see. So I will go back on my Scratchorg. And if you see sfdx JSON, I would open it with my Notepad++. And it says that where the source code exists. And if I go on config, if I open this JSON, so this is the key. So like I said, we can automatically create a Scratchorg, but Salesforce needs to know some basic information. So basic information is like, what is my company name? I can say Apex Saturday. Name can be anything, country, last name. I can give my name, my email address. I can use any valid email address. Addition, we can request developer addition, we can request professional, enterprise. So imagine if you have to do some POC, right? Proof of concept for the professional edition, just to see, okay, does professional editions support Apex, Visual Force page, API or something? Because as per the edition, the functionality of the Salesforce changes. So instead of going manually, creating an org, wait for a few minutes for the email verification, we don't need anything. We can always create, and then we can give the org preferences as well. Now, what can be the org preference? We can click here for the all supported org preference. This is the URL already in the PowerPoint presentation, and Amit would be sharing it after the session. So so this is the URL of the org preferences, and all these supported also like account setting, case setting, all these are available, you can use. I would not go on the deep. So just for the demo purpose, I would go back on my. So this is all the information already valid. Let's create a Scratchorg, and this is the actual magic we are going to use here. So to create a Scratchorg, we already did this. So this JSON is already, I already have provided all the information here. Next, go on. We simply have to run this command to create a Scratchorg. So I would again copy this command from my website. I would simply go here. So this JSON part is done. So you guys can see I'm exactly following step by step from here. So you don't have to worry about what command I'm running. So let's see what exactly is happening. I'm saying sfdx force:org create. Don't worry about this, how it came. In some time I would explain each command. Then I'm saying, okay, this Scratchorg is going to be my default Scratchorg. So all I want is to work here, because it might be possible, again, we have a 10 Scratchorg. I don't want my command line to tell in every time that, okay, this command stands for this Scratchorg, this command stands for Scratchorg. Okay, so I can simply minimize my work here. Then I'm saying to create this Scratchorg, all the information is already here in the Workspace Scratch definition.json, and this is in config folders. If I go back here, I'm running all the command here in config folder. This JSON is already there, so that's what I'm informing here. And then saying aliasing, I'm changing aliasing to Jitendra Saturday. Anyone, any question now?
Not just question, sir. I can't see the screen moving. I guess it gets stuck for me, or is it for everyone?
Okay. So let me stop the screen sharing and I will start again.
It looked
Thanks
good to me, Jitender. Maybe
Yeah. Okay.
that is internet issue from his end,
Okay.
because I'm
Okay.
able to
Okay.
see
Okay.
everything is moving.
Okay. Yeah. Now
Are
I
you
can
able
see.
to
Yeah.
see now?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, no issue. So if you guys have any issue like this, right, just let me know and no issue. I mean, I don't want this session to be just like I'm speaking. I want interaction here because I am also not mastering this stuff. This is very new and we might need some brainstorming here.
Jiten sir, actually, I just want to ask one question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, actually, I have my like DX pilot org, but I just don't know. Like, just to attend the session, I just want to know like how DX works out, how everything works out with the DX pilot program. So I just want to know, like, before starting this command prompt, and like, let's go to the like 10 to 15 minutes back,
Mm-hmm.
and what actually you have done like with the, well, like when we open the command prompt, and
Mm-hmm.
with the command prompt, I don't know how can I run those commands, because simply I do have my org, I do have command prompt, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot simply run the command and do the DX performing from command prompt to Salesforce, or create any of the Scratchorgs from my developer hub. So
Okay,
just want to know, like, do I need to install the Heroku CLI or what?
exactly. So that's a very good question, Vipul. So what you can do is like you can log into your developer account, developer hub account from the browser, right?
Right.
Then you're a Superman. Now you can do everything. So basically, see this in this PowerPoint presentation. That's a very good question. So before going ahead, we have to install this. So I guess this is the thing you don't know because this URL is not public URL. This is very top secret URL, and
Yeah.
this URL is going to be changed in future for sure. I am a
Yeah.
pilot user, so I know it. So you can either install from here, but product manager suggests do not follow this. You have to go on my website, install this command. So
Okay.
assuming that you first need to have installed Heroku CLI. Once Heroku CLI is installed, run this command and you're all set to go. All because if you don't have this command, and let's say if you are running SFDX, right, you would get an
Right.
error saying something unrecognized command or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
You would not, yeah.
just
You, mhm.
just now I run the command, so that's what I am getting the error. So that's why I was
Exactly.
asking.
Exactly. It will say unrecognized SFDX because your system does not know that because SFDX, right? This is
Yeah.
nothing but the program installed on my system. So to
Yeah.
install this, just follow this. I have not followed this. The reason is it's already on my system. But if you go on my blog or even if you go to the PowerPoint presentation, it's
Yeah.
all sequence. You just have to follow the sequence. Okay.
Sure.
And it's
Will
again
do.
all R&D mutual understanding. Any problem, just drop an email, drop a comment either on our meetup or either on my blog. Anywhere you will drop a comment, either me or Amit, we would reply.
Sure, will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. So here we are going to run a big command now. Okay, this command again, guys. If you have created a developer account, you know the pain. If I go on Salesforce Trailhead, sorry guys, I don't remember the URL. So Google Baba is my friend. So I always go on Salesforce Trailhead. You go click here, sign up. Wait, create a Salesforce account. This is the page it comes, right? Oh, actually, today, and actually I was very scared, guys. I already promised Amit that I would be doing the demo. Then I got an email saying that Saturday is a big day. They're doing a lot of maintenance. It is possible that our Salesforce DX command would not work. I did a small testing in the morning. It is working, but chances are high it will also not work, like the developer edition is not working. So that's fine. This is how, I mean, then you have to provide all the username and password and all those stuff. So here, see what's magic is happening. Hopefully it will work. Let's see. So what I just informed SFDX, hey, I want a new org. and whatever the information you need to create my new org is in notepad here, workspace, scratch definition in this file, config, and like these are all the mandatory fields: company name, country, last name, email, and those stuff. Fingers crossed. If Salesforce is doing maintenance, we cannot do anything.
May I know from where I will be getting this PPT?
Amit is the right person to answer. Amit, please chip in here.
Yeah, I will post the PPT and recording somewhere, and will post the link on Meetup page.
Thank you.
So here is what's happening at the background. Let's see. So internally, I mean, that's my assumption. Internally, it's a Node.js application. It is creating a Scratchorg. Then every Scratchorg will having a my domain information. And if you have created a website, right, your own website, you know the concept of DNS, right? A website is like IP address that has to be resolved by the name, and that even the GoDaddy or the big website hosting company, they informs that it will take around 24 hours. So imagine new URL can take around 24 hours, but Salesforce DX, this new URL should be done very quickly.
Hi, Jitendra.
Yeah, hi Mustafa.
Hi. So can we write code and can we create Visual Force page or Apex class or Visual Force like Lightning components and all those things using directly this Salesforce DX? Is there any feature available?
Good question, Mustafa. So basically how Salesforce DX tool is just to move the metadata and to manage the org. So what you have to do is like you have to write Visual Force code and everything using your favorite IDE. You have to commit on the Git repository, and DX would read from the Git repository and then it would push. Because it is not a IDE, rather I will say it is a tool. So you guys can see Scratchorg has been created, and the username, it's a wow, very fancy username. I'm pretty much sure I would never forget this username. So you guys can see the username is in apexsaturday.com. So whatever the name of the company I have provided, that is the format of the username. So sorry, Mustafa, I missed. So we cannot write a Lightning component or any source code using SFDX. We can deploy using SFDX. I hope it answers your
Okay.
question.
So this is just to deploy. This tool is just to provide some deployment from one node to another. This is what is the idea.
I would not say the word just. It's a lot more than Ant migration toolkit. Okay.
Okay.
For example, you guys tell me, can you guys create a new Salesforce org from command line till date?
No, not
right?
as of.
But yeah, but we are able to do it. So you cannot compare. I mean, it's my mistake. Basically, initially I compared SFDX with Ant. These two are very different tool. And it's still in migration. It's still continued by the Salesforce, but the DX is something more kind of doing the POC. And I would show in the basic. In Ant, to deploy, we need package.xml, right? How many of you guys hate package.xml? Well, I hate the package.xml. Really, it's a cumbersome to create a package.xml. Even you forget some tag, deployment fails. SFDX does not need any package.xml. Chirag, you have any question?
No, I said I hated package.xml.
Exactly, yeah. So let's see how the DX is our friend.
Hey Jitendra, one question.
Yeah.
This is Vamsi here.
Yeah, hey,
And
Vamsi.
Jitendra, hey. As we see that we have for a long time, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, for it to create the Scratchorg. So just wanted to check if we have some log files getting created for this.
I got you covered. Sometime, just wait.
Okay.
Okay, just wait for very good question, but I have that in PPT next. Okay. Any other question? So basically, Vamsi, I mean, what I think, I mean, I have done POC. I'm doing a POC like from the last 1 month, and Salesforce, like we are in beta. Salesforce almost releases the binary all every 2-3 days. Today it was the slowest I have seen, but normally what I have seen is Scratchorg creates within a minute. today it took a time, but normally it will not take. And again, it is in beta. Once it go to the production, I'm pretty much sure the timeline would be changed.
Sure. Thanks, Jitendra.
Yeah. So let's jump on to the next command. PPT is our best friend. Let's go back. What is here? We covered this. I explained what is this JSON. I explained how to create a Scratchorg. Wow, awesome. You guys tell me, Scratchorg is created. Where do I have a password? Anyone? Any one of you thought that,
That
oh,
one was my next question.
That's a nice question. So here
I
is the
think under
pass.
the Apex simple, like SFDX simple folder, might
Okay,
be possible.
okay, you want me to hear SFDX. So again, this folder is not mine. I have copied it from the Salesforce GitHub account, and the URL is on the PowerPoint presentation. So everything is here to get you. So Vipul, I guess you asked the question, right? That you already have an access, but how do you start? So this is your way to go in. Okay. And I would suggest Vipul, if you Vipul or anyone, okay, you have access to DX, it's your time, because very soon we are going to, our access would be gone. So we don't have much time left to play with the SFDX. So like, okay, Apex, I mean, Scratchorg has been created. How do I open it? So first of all, let's see how I can see how many Scratchorg I have. Okay. So I would go back on my website. You guys can see only one tab is here open. Okay. That is helpful. We will see. Where is a command? So this is the command I would use. This command, like it says, it will list all the existing Scratchorg or the developer hub org. Let's see. Don't worry if you guys don't remember this command. Even I don't remember, but I do know how to search for the command. I will explain. So guys, here you see, I have many Scratchorg. This is one my DX pilot org. This is a main org, and you guys see how many Scratchorgs I have. So this is the, I have some from the Boston. This is today's org. Okay, because alias, okay, you can set an alias. I said that the new org name would be something like this. I do not need to remember the username. I do not need to use org ID. Even I don't know the password. So how do I log in? So to log in, like on the PowerPoint, it says we have to search, we have to enter the command sfdx force org open. Let's try. So I would say sfdx force org open.
Jitendra, meanwhile it is opening, just want to ask one question. Like and just now we just entered this command like SFDX open. So how do the command prompt reads up that this will open up the last access org which we have created?
Very good question, Vipul. So it's not the last. It's this command, set default username. Like I said, this hyphen, it means that next onwards any command where I'm not explicitly saying what is the username, it would assume that org as a default org. I have specifically said that this org
Okay,
which I am creating is a default org. But
got it.
if you want to open a particular org, right, like in this case, I have listed a mini org, right? To particular org, you just have to give the name of the org and it would open that. So this is a simple command. The other command would be something like this, alias name or something. And then it will open that scratch org.
Got it.
So you guys see here, automatically org was created. It's agility business something. Okay, if I go on company information, it says see Apex Saturday. It use some name or something like. Let's see the uh, really guys, I am not very good I'm still not habitual of the lightning interface yet. So let me go back on switch to classic view. Setup, because some setup is in the lightning and some setup is still in the classic. If you go through the documentation, they will still say that you have to go to the, so the thing I'm looking here is system overview basically. And here you see guys, the space it got me is just a 5 MB. But if I create, because I have created developer org, but if I create enterprise org or like unlimited, then it would increase. Now what is the supported org? You would get it from the documentation. I do have a documentation open here, but again this documentation like says it's a pilot, so we cannot completely rely on this document. So let's go back here. I am able to open the org. Let's try to deploy something. So first of all, if I go on this folder SFDX, if I go on Force App, main, default, classes, the name of the class is demo controller. Okay. So let's go on the Scratchorg. Let's try to search, is there any class here? So I go on Apex class and no class here, right? So let's try to deploy something. How do we do the deploy? So to do the deploy, basically, we need this file, workspace file. And workspace file says that if you want to deploy something, the path of the deployment would be this folder, Force App. So I go back here, I go on the Force App, guys see there is no package.xml here. Okay, simply I have to say the version is 39. Let's try to deploy it. So I would open again my website here, or I can go on PowerPoint presentation, wait. So we are done with this, push metadata to Scratchorg. That means I'm talking about the deploy. We simply have to run the command, simple command. If you are the Git user, you already know the push command, or you can simply say sfdx force source push. If I go back on my org, you guys can see none of the Apex class is here. It should deploy one Apex class. So you guys can see it deployed to Apex class, to Apex, in fact, 4 Apex class it seems. No, 2 Apex class. For metadata XML also it is considering 1. So if I refresh here, perfect. So we are able to deploy to the Scratchorg. How do we get the, so let's say you did the POC, you performed something. So I will go back on the lightning experience here. And let's say I would change some page layout. So I would go back, let's say an account. My system is saying, please have a mercy. I would go on the, I would open one of the record here and I don't want this message again. So here to edit, I'm planning to open the app builder. So I'm saying edit page here. So at the background, it's app builder page are also known as a flexi page. So one hint here guys, okay. I have so many blogs that even I forget sometimes that what I have written. So for example, a flexi page, if you want to search, this is this search box you can use on my website. So let me see what is flexi page. If you want to see, and I see one blog post already on the flexi page if you are interested. And this page I have written a long back in 2014, even the time when the lightning was not there. And exactly same thing is going to happen here. So I'm planning to change the flexi page. So basically what I would do is I would simply remove, let's say, this component. I don't want this. It's gone. Saving it. I will say activate. Assign as org default. Saying save. So question to you guys. Okay. Let's say this is your org. and you change something, you have a 40 development team, you need to chase to everybody asking, hey, what have you changed? Please give me the list so that I can include in the package.xml and everything, right? That's the huge dependency. Now see how the SFDX resolve that. I don't have to do anything special. I simply have to run the command. Instead of push, simply pull. And now we know that we changed something in our org. Now what we have changed, just say, just check. No package.xml, no chasing the team member saying give me the list so that I can include somewhere I should know. You simply have to use a pull command and it will tell you that what changes has been done in your org. And you guys can see it automatically told me that I have changed account record flexi page. Isn't that awesome? So I would go back on my directory, and where the path it says main default flexi page, main default flexi page. Even I am not very comfortable yet how this folder and everything would work. Once it's in the beta phase, then we would come to know that how exactly the folders are being created. So right now I am on mercy of this Git repository. So that's all. We are able to push, we are able to pull, and let's take an example. Okay, you want to create your org from scratch. Okay, you don't want SFDX simple here or something, right? How do we do that? So this is the command you can use. Okay, and it will, so let me go back here. I will go on one directory back and I will say SFDX force workspace create, and I'm saying workspace name is demo2. So I'm running this command in this folder, and let's see what exactly is happening. See guys, demo2 automatically created, config folder automatically created, force app automatically created, main folders also. Even if you don't have Git repository, that's completely fine. All this structure would automatically created by this. And if I open the JSON file, it would tell me that, okay, this is the place. If I go on config, this is the where Scratchorg needs to be created. And it also again has same information, you just have to replace it. So Salesforce already got you covered on how to create a new project from scratch. Anyways, I would go back again on SFDX simple folder. So actually we are short on time. I guess I utilized a lot of time on the discussion. So SFDX simple, we are here. Let's move on to the next command. Let's say we want to run a test. How do we run a test classes? So to run the test classes, you simply have to run a command SFDX force Apex test run. You would get an ID, and using that ID, you have to run the second command. So basically, it will schedule the test classes. Test classes would run asynchronously. So it says it's invoked, and we have to run this command basically. I will simply copy this command. I have to say SFDX. This is exactly same command as mentioned on the PowerPoint presentation. So it will tell me the result of the test classes if everything passed or failed. Awesome. So here it gives me all the information. Okay, how many tests run, what is the test pass rate, and all the other information you guys can see. Name of the Salesforce instance, org ID, user ID, and everything. So let's go on the next. We already saw this command. This command gives all the list of all the org. Now this is my favorite part, and this is a secret sauce. How do I know that how many commands are in DX, and how should I can't simply remember. So I will say you have to remember only one command, SFDX help, SFDX help. And I will, so this is how I normally use and how I remember the command. So help will tell you that, okay, how many different types of commands are available inside SFDX. So main command is force Heroku plugin update. Let's say now I want to know that what commands are in SFDX4. So simply I have to say SFDX, I can say SFDX help force. Either I can use this or I can use this command, SFDX force help. Either use any one of them and it will tell you, okay, in SFDX force, these are again so many commands. So let me see, I want to see what is specifically on this command. So I will say again, SFDX help me to understand what are the other commands on org. And here it gives you the description also that these commands are related to manage your SFDX org. So here I go again, I entered, and now it is saying me, okay, in SFDX org there are again 5 commands. So let's say I want to know how should I use the list command. So SFDX help me on this command, force org list, and it will give me the introduction saying that, okay, it will list all your org which you have created or authenticated. You can either use like this, or like this. So this is the simplest way to remember how to use the commands and everything. So you don't have to remember the command. This is how I remember. I just remember SFDX help, and that's it. Everything else is just a technique. So now the question related to the debug log. Okay, someone asked me, and as I tell you, I got you covered. So if there is some problem in SFDX itself, where should I see the logs? So the log would be here. You go to your home repository, you go on SFDX folder, and then SFDX log is there. So I would go back here on my C drive. Here I would go on users, and this is my home directory. Now it is saying on home directory you have to go .sfdx. So .sfdx here, and then it is saying you would see sfdx.log, and this is cumulative log. So this would be the big file. If I open this, it would give me all the information, and this would only include the errors right now. Why? Because of the log level. So here by default my log level is different. I can set a log level using this command. Either every command supports log level, debug, or the other. So total available log levels are these: error, one, info, debug, trace. So right now my log level is error, so only error would be captured. If you want to capture the complete information or the trace with each command, either you use this command or you can globally set the log using this command in Windows. And this is how you have to use basically export in Unix. Anyone, any question here on the log? We got 5 more minutes. So next, let's.
Hi Jitendra, a quick question. A quick question on the pushing of the data. Like if you have multiple classes and you need to push the classes on your some dev org. So in that case, if I do the same thing using Eclipse, then I need to first of all push the dependent classes and then I can push the other classes. So do we need to do the same thing using Salesforce DX, or Salesforce DX takes care of those things directly?
So yeah, Mustafa, in this way I will say we need to think a little bit on the system side. Okay, so let's say you are deploying some class. If that dependent class is already on the production, no problem. But if the dependent class is, because how Salesforce works, either Salesforce is API first platform. So either you SFDX or you use Eclipse, both are you going to use the same APIs. So if the dependent class or the dependent components are still not in the Salesforce, it will throw an error. Either it's SFDX or it's AND. So we have to make sure. Not if the dependent class is already there in the org, then no need to push.
So if it's not there, then we need to define the sequence that first of all I need to push this class and this. So how we can actually define in this Salesforce DX?
So I think you are talking about the layered deployment approach, right?
Correct.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah. So the layer deployment approach, you would again have to use like traditionally you're using. I mean, you should know that what are the dependent. Normally, how I deploy is in a single deployment, I keep everything at the same time. So let's say class B is depending on the class A, then I would have both class at the same time. If class A, let's say the object A, let's say the workflow rule depends on the object A, then I would include object A and that workflow rule in the same deployment. Normally, I don't prefer the layer deployment. I always do the single shard deployment. But in layer deployment, yeah, you have to know the sequence. Salesforce DX would not be able to resolve that problem, unfortunately.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anurag, you have any question?
Hello.
Yeah, Anurag, we can hear you.
Yeah. Actually, my question is just related to the Mustafa that he asked. But if I need to, sorry, if I need to deploy the some classes, not the whole classes, which is in our folder. So is there any way to deploy the only some classes?
Good. Yeah, good question, Anurag. So basically, how the Salesforce DXs work is, let me close this window. So whatever is in your this directory would get deployed. So let's say if you don't want to deploy some class, frankly speaking, I don't know the perfect answer here. To my knowledge, what I would do is I would just delete the classes from here temporarily and then deploy, because anyways everything is in the Git repository. But there should be some way, Anurag. Okay, I would get back to you. I would check the documentation, and that's a valid scenario. There should be some kind of the Git ignore, like here we have a Git ignore. So there should be some kind of the ignore functionality also. I'm not confident, but I will get back to you, Anurag, on that part.
Okay, no problem, Jitendra.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So let's move on. Question from Amit, I guess. Everybody was thinking like, how do I generate a password? And I would say thanks to Bob Buzzard. I saw his one of the blog posts related to Selenium, and from there I got an idea that how do we get a password. So to get a password, we simply have to run this command, because if you are using the Scratchorg from the SFDX, you don't need password because it's automatically authenticated. But what if you need to do some kind of the Selenium testing or something, right? So simply you have to run the command SFDX force user password generate. Hopefully no spelling mistake. So basically now what it will do is now it will generate the password. Till now there was no password. Salesforce was not using any password because it's authenticated by SFDX itself using OAuth or something.
So this will be generate the password for your default or whatever you said, right?
Exactly, Amit. It is my default Scratch. And again,
If I want to password for the different org, I need to set the default org to the different one and then need to execute this one.
Not necessarily. You have to give the name of the alias. So generate and the name of the Scratch or whatever Jitendra 2 underscore Scratch, something like this. Now it will generate the password for this org.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. So password is generated and it is giving me. So this is a beauty of the SFDX. With each command you will get an help. So here I'm saying that using second command you have to get the password, but Salesforce DX is guiding me saying, hey, run this command. It did exactly same in the test class also. I'm going back here, SFDX describe. Should be fast. It would give me complete information about the org, ID, name, password, all those stuff, username. So here, this is the access token now, which is used by SFDX internally. That is the reason SFDX was not needing any password. But this is the alias, this is client ID, and password. Oh, sweet and simple password. You can use this password and copy from the user interface also now. So we just have, or so I would wrap up the ID in just in one step. So ID is very simple. You guys would love the new SF. So this is the new Salesforce IDE. I double click and see completely brand new force.com IDE. This is known as a force.com IDE 2. So whatever I have run from the command prompt, don't be scared. If you hit command prompt, completely fine. You can do each and everything again from the IDE. I will show you how. So this is the IDE, new IDE, which will be public very soon. And here you can run the command. So here I'm saying, you guys can see here I'm saying help. So it would give me, okay, these are all the possible command you can have. So I'm saying, okay, give me org list. So I am saying org list. So it is saying, okay, I can give you the org list only when you can select a project first. Okay. So you guys only have to, so let's see, actually we are less on the time, otherwise I would cover.
We can spend some time if you
Okay.
want. If you have some time, we can spend some more time.
Yeah,
hope
I just need 5 more minutes. Okay.
Yep.
Then we should be good. I don't need much time. 5 minutes. And so here, how do we create a new workspace? Okay, in Eclipse. So simply you have to, so like we run the command, right? Workspace. So I can simply go here, new. Let me see. Navigate to file, new workspace, basically. Okay, navigate to file, new SFDX workspace. And so it is saying that, okay, my new workspace would be created somewhere here. Farmington, I'm saying demo Eclipse. This is the default project name, and this is the login URL it is asking. I'm saying, okay, finish.
One question in the meantime. This ID is specific for Salesforce DX or normal, like previously old post.id was there. We can use like that also.
You can see it's a force.com ID version 2. So that's what I say. It's a totally top secret. This is the new ID for the normal Salesforce development also. So even if you don't have SFDX, that's completely fine. You can use this ID for your normal work. And you can see it's all different. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So here my SFDX workspace is here. So here you can see that this is the workspace JSON. And if I go on config, so let's create a Scratchorg from here. So I am saying Scratchorg is, let's say, Amit US. I'm saying last name. Amit, your last name?
Chaudhary. CHAUDHARY.
Okay. Sorry. And email, I will give my name for the simplicity. I'm saying it's a developer edition. We can give an enterprise or something like that. So let's create a Scratchorg from here. Now to create a Scratchorg, I would go back on my site here. And this is the command we ran, right? So first actually we have to authenticate. So to authenticate, we can just simply use like this. Let's see, hopefully it will roll. So here, what happening here, guys? It would again go back. I need my username here. This is the username I would need. So now all command I'm running from the Eclipse now, and this is the place you can run the command. So now Eclipse opened my developer hub. I have to again log into my developer hub account. Log in, and let's go back on Eclipse. We would see here exactly. This is still running in the background. Perfect. Now you can see that it says successfully authorized DX pilot. So let's create a Scratchorg from Eclipse now. The only thing I hate right now here from the Eclipse is how do I clear the command? Normally my habit is I simply run CLS and it's gone, but not working. Anyway, so how should I create a Scratchorg? I would go back here. I would go back here. And to create a Scratchorg, simply I have to run this command. I don't need to run the force command. The reason, if you guys see, force is already here, right? So I'm always skipping the force part. So I need from org part here. And so here org part, and I will say, let's say 6 scratch, and it's working. It's so, and if you guys see on the left, right, left, all the famous commands are here, mostly which we would use. The technique we already know, right? We have to use a help command. But let's say even if you don't know the help, you can always use here on the left and we can filter it out. So if you are a Salesforce developer, you should be very excited for this new ID, SFDX and everything. It's a good to work on. I'm just waiting for final version of the SFDX to be out.
To be very frank, I'm curiously waiting for this.
Yeah. It's a new age in our development era. Let's see. So here you guys see Scratchorg created. Okay. And let's open the Scratchorg. Again, to open the Scratchorg, I can simply, wow. Don't I have open command here? I don't have open command here. Okay, here. Org open, simply org open I have to use. So let's go back. I will say org open. It might give an error. This is a known issue I said about the DNS. It is created a Scratchorg, but if the DNS is not set yet, it would give me an error saying unrecognized URL or something. Let's see. Wow, quick, it's working. Otherwise, I should have got an error. Yeah, this is known error. So we have to wait like 2 or 3 more minutes and then it would be set, because I mean at the background it is resolving the DNS. So guys, that's it from for today's session. Thank you so much, Amit, for calling me on this. This is a great time. I would love to come back again. Anyone have any question? This is the time.
Sir, Dharmendra.
Hey, Dharmendra.
Yeah, sir, just maybe a silly question, I have missed it. Sir, as you deploy all the things from the GitHub, we are using SVN, so how will we use the Salesforce DX to get files from the
SVN, right?
Yes.
So, Dharmendra, first of all, no question is a silly question, right?
Okay, sir.
Now, I am not able to answer it. That means this question is not really a silly. I am also in the same category now.
Okay, sir.
So, to answer the question, I don't know. But okay, what I know is SVN is supported. You have to go through this document. Okay. Let me search for SVN. Okay, now, but I'm pretty much sure SVN is supported. You have to go through the document to see.
Okay, sir. Yes, I thought I just missed it.
No. I have not did hands-on on SVN yet. I did all the hands on the Git repository, but I am pretty much sure I have seen, because this is the same question I asked in my first demo with the Salesforce, that what about the Team Foundation server? What about the SVN? What about the clear case of the IBM? Though, I mean, most of them are supported.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Any other question?
Hey, hi, Jitendra. This is Ankit.
Hey, Ankit.
I have a question like, as soon as we create a Scratchorg, it gives me a username. So can we give our username if we are willing to somehow?
No, Ankit. I mean, till now we cannot give the username. The reason is username have to be the unique. But the thing is, after the username @company.com. This is how it is computed. But we cannot change the username till now. I'm not sure in the future if it's supported. It might be, but right now you cannot give the username. It's automatically generated. And one more thing which I missed, Scratchorg is active only for 7 days. After 7 days, Scratchorg would be deleted in the beta. I'm not sure how it is gonna happen in the I mean once it goes on live, but like the sandbox would not get deleted until I don't want to. Developer org is anyways lifetime free, but about the this Scratchorg, it's not active. So anyways, I'm not sure if they would provide you the ability to set the username, but that's a good question.
So one question I have, Jitendra. So what about if I want to use the Salesforce DX as my existing project, but in that we used to use the sandbox, right, for the everything. So in that particular scenario, what I can do?
Okay, so first of all, Amit, in your existing project, right, they have to have, I'm not sure if, I think it's, you have to purchase a license for the DevHub account. So you will not get by default SFDX, you have to purchase it. And once you purchase it, Scratchorg is mostly for the package based development. So you have a different teams, right? Give each team or each developer a new Scratchorg. Ask them, hey, you develop your functionality here, okay? And we would push that functionality on the production or some QA. Because for the Scratchorg, GitHub or some source control management is a baseline. Like I said, like I created a Scratchorg, but it did not copy in my production. So here the thing, right? This is very good question, I mean, and it brought me into the another topic. So you have a production, okay? When we create a sandbox, there is no way for us to tell in the sandbox that, hey, I don't want everything from production, correct? It would copy everything, all the metadata from the production. We don't have any choice. But in the Scratchorg, it would be vanilla Scratchorg. Nothing would be there. It would be you. So let's say on the production 2 months back, the production was running completely fine. After 2 months, and now I don't know what happened in the last 2 months. You cannot do in the sandbox, right? Because mostly the sandbox would be also the copy of production. How do we reproduce the issue? But if you're using a code management tool, you always have a history, go back on that history, and that history, move all the metadata to the Scratchorg and do the testing on the Scratchorg. See, so try to reproduce the problem. What was there in the Scratchorg, which was running on the 2 months back, but it is not running now.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So I will say it's a very new, I mean, sky is limited. We have to think, we have to do the brainstorming. It's just a new tool, and lot of things are there which I have not covered yet. This session is completely basic. If you guys need advanced session, let me know. So advanced is like we can do the data load, how the data loads are done, and all the stuff that we can also do.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
sir, we definitely want this, sir.
Yeah. So any other question, guys?
So we are waiting for the beta version. Once it will come, we'll try to hands-on, and definitely we'll come back with you for one more session on this for the advanced level. So that will be really helpful for us.
Sure. So I would say it's just one drop in the ocean today. We just getting started. Okay, Salesforce DX is a lot bigger than this. And even I'm not able to picturize the whole scenario, but I see the capability here. I can imagine where this tool will let us go. Especially if you are, like I said, if you are an app exchange developer, it's a good tool for you.
I totally agree.
Okay, guys, any other question?
Someone added the question in the chat. Let me read out.
Okay.
Can be a silly question, but wanted to know about the validation part of the component, like we do it using chain set or ID before the component are moved to production.
Oh, that's a good question. And frankly, I don't know the answer. Should be validation part. Yeah, there should be something, right? I only see the push and pull. I didn't see anything validation, but I will check back. Yeah. I think, yeah, it should have a validation part. I'm pretty much sure this is something very important feature. That question was Rani Chatterjee. Rani Chatterjee, sorry. Okay, guys, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Amit. This is a great initiative. Just keep your good work. and let's invite again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jitendra, for giving time over the weekend and giving the knowledge of a very good topic. Like this is really helpful for everyone. So especially for me, like this is new learning for me. So as well. So thank you so much, and thank you so much everyone for joining the event as well. So we will again come back with new topic. See you soon.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so
lot,
much,
Amit.
guys. Yeah, keep in touch.
Thank you, Jiten sir. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.